She lived in a house surrounded by fog. A house where no door could stay unlocked, and no curtain could be opened. She believed she was protecting her children from the light. But what if the real danger was something she could not see? This is The Others, a haunting mystery, where every whisper hides a secret, and the truth will chill you to your core. The story begins on a remote island, just after World War II. Grace Stewart, played by Nicole Kidman, wakes up screaming. She believes she has just experienced a nightmare, but something in her eyes says the horror is not over. Grace lives in a huge Victorian mansion with her two children, Anne and Nicholas. Both children suffer from a rare condition. They are photosensitive. Sunlight could kill them, so Grace runs the house under strict rules. Every window must stay covered. Every door must be locked before another is opened. No electricity, only dim lamps and candlelight. It feels less like a home and more like a tomb. One morning, 3 new servants arrive. An elderly woman named Miss Mills, a mute gardener named Mr. Tuttle, and a young maid called Lydia. Grace is grateful, but something about their quiet smiles feels off. She gives them strict orders about the curtains and the doors, repeating them like prayers. They nod obediently, but as the day goes on, strange things begin to happen. Anne, the elder daughter, starts claiming that she has seen a boy named Victor inside the house. Grace scolds her for making up stories, but Anne insists. He says this house is his. Grace ignores it, until one day, she hears footsteps in the empty rooms above. Doors slam when no one is there. Piano music echoes through the halls. And soon, even Grace starts to feel it. They are not alone in that house. Grace tries to remain calm and logical. She tells herself there must be a thief, or maybe soldiers from the war hiding nearby. But her nerves are breaking. One afternoon, she walks into the piano room, and finds the lid wide open. She closes it carefully, and locks the door. But when she turns around, she hears the lid open again. She freezes, slowly turns the handle. The door will not open. Something is holding it shut from the inside. Grace panics and screams for help. When Mrs. Mills arrives, the room is empty, completely still. But Grace's eyes say it all. She knows someone, or something, was there. Meanwhile, Anne continues talking to Victor. She describes him in detail: his clothes, his pale skin, even his parents' voices. Grace loses patience and punishes her daughter for lying. But later that night, Grace hears whispering coming from his room. When she opens the door, Anne is sitting up, trembling. "I told you he was here," she whispers. Grace steps forward and sees a shadow move near the curtain. But the light almost hits the children, and she quickly closes it again. Nothing, only darkness. That night, the fog around the mansion grows thicker. Grace feels trapped, surrounded by ghosts, or maybe by madness. One morning, Grace goes searching for a priest, hoping to bless the house. She walks through the fog until she becomes completely lost. Hours later, she sees a familiar figure standing among the trees. It is her husband, Charles. He was presumed dead in the war, yet here he stands, silent and distant. She runs to him, crying, but his eyes look hollow, as if he does not belong there. When he returns home, he barely speaks to the children. He tells Grace that he must leave again soon, though he cannot explain why. That night, they share a painful embrace, two souls separated by something neither can understand. The next morning, Charles is gone. The fog swallows him forever. Days later, Anne and Nicholas hear voices coming from downstairs. When they peek through the door, they see strangers, a family sitting around a table, speaking to a medium. The children panic and run to tell their mother. Grace storms into the room, but when she enters, the strangers vanish. Instead, the furniture is covered in white sheets. The air turns ice cold, and whispers, "Mummy, they are the ones who say we are the ghosts." Grace refuses to believe it. She tears away the sheets and finds old photographs lying on the table. Images of the 3 servants lying dead. Mrs. Mills calmly walks in behind her and says, "You must accept it, my dear. We are all dead." Grace stares in horror. Her memories come flooding back: the day she suffocated her children in despair, and then took her own life. The truth was never outside the house. It was inside her, all along. Grace and her children break down in tears. The fog outside grows brighter, as if the world is letting them go. Mrs. Mills assures her that sometimes, the dead linger because they cannot forgive themselves. But now, Grace understands. The intruders they feared were the new living family, the ones trying to move into the mansion. It was they who called for the scenes to get rid of the ghosts. Grace walks to the window, sunlight glowing faintly behind the curtains. She opens one. Just a little. The light no longer burns. It is peaceful. As the new family leaves the house, Grace whispers, "This house is ours." The camera slowly pulls away. The mansion stands silent, surrounded by endless fog, and the whispers of the dead continue to echo within. In the end, The Others reminds us that sometimes, the scariest ghosts are the ones trapped in our own guilt. This was The Others 2001, a story where the dead never really leave.